Take every lead that's marked dead, multiply it by your cost to generate. That's why we say either manage the leads or stop marketing. You don't need more leads. Nothing. I've almost never found a company who isn't receiving leads. Now they're receiving the volume they believe they need, and we'll see whether that's true or not. But by and large, the major portals have plenty of traffic. The consumer is not broken. A lot of leads management, like we heard earlier, where agents say these leads are terrible, these leads are no good, the consumer's not broken. Consumers who get to your website are doing half your work, and if they inquire, they're perfectly functioning. What happens after that is not about the consumer's need to chase us, it is about our need to be able to hug them, bring them into the family, and turn them into business. Which is why I can say with absolute certainty that no brokerage needs more leads. Unless you just started your shop yesterday, at which point I will concede the point. I guarantee that when we go into a company, whether they get 2 leads a day or they get 200 leads a day, the challenge isn't more stuff. Your website has. Stop bragging how many visitors you had. Stop publishing those numbers. They're meaningless. They're absolutely meaningless. A company that gets 10 leads but converts 4 of them is a higher performing company than a company. Brokers convert only 3% of the leads they get. And it's not just online. These are the leads they're getting from all sources. The aggregate phone call, front desk management is really a new discipline. It's a new way of thinking about how you run your office based around the lead, rather than based around the recruiting world, or the retention world, or the training world. All of a sudden, management is now focused on the customer and not necessarily the agent. This is a huge shift in real estate practices, something that we have barely come to grips with. Because we still see advertising all the time that says, agents, come work for us because it's all about you. Little secret, it's not at all about the agent. If it's not about the customer, then the agent can love themselves all the way to the poorhouse. That's the challenge that only management can break. Only management can say, what is the result of the environment we have created? We create an environment with technology, marketing, training, and management oversight. Action environment. It's why some factories work and others don't. It's why some coffee shops have a line out that are marked dead by the person they were assigned to within 30 days of receipt. 92% of that dead pool was abandoned within the first 7 days of the lead coming in. And 94% of those were actually marked dead within 72 hours. Because we didn't tell agents when we recruited them that they have to build a long-term pipeline. Oh yeah, well who are they? They're the nosy neighbor. I said, what are the nosy neighbors doing? Are they coming over to see what the rugs are like? No, they're coming over and they want to know what the price is. And I say, can you think of any reason why the neighbor might want to know what the price is? Well, they might wish to sell their house, so they want to know what the price is. So you're telling me that someone has come over, make a note of this. The single most common trait in companies' success, they've only made the decision to inquire. And this is why many agents are upset at leads, because they think, well, why would they reach out if they weren't ready to go see houses? You know what? Get over that. They reached out because they're customers and because they're confused. And because if I'm a 25-year-old first-time home buyer, I reach out for help through email. I see a lot of this in these leads that say, the consumer inquired about 45 Osgood Street. So the agent told them about 45. For her to call me back. We have a blog entry on our website called The Difference of 6 Words. This is the absolute number. What is the current living status of the first-time home buyer? He is either living at home, he is living in a dormitory, or he is renting. Which means he doesn't have to reply right away. He's got 8 months left on his lease. Now it's nice that he's looking at homes, but he has no need to get back. Myth 3, incubation occurs. This is where we're going right now. So first, are we qualifying? Second, do we know how to sell? Third, are we incubating? The misconception that many agents have today is that if we send people things automatically, we're prospecting. We are not. I assure you that if the computer could have incubated more buyers into deals, we would have got rid of a lot more agents. If we're not watching what's happening to leads, then let's just stop generating them altogether. But if you do pay attention and these things start to come to light, then watching the henhouse gives you options to coach people, options to say these are the standards of performance, options to recommend training, options to rewrite the rules. Why are we handing leads out to agents who haven't closed a deal in 12 or more months, when we've got other agents who prove their propensity to capture and convert deals? You can either watch performance, or you can watch the lack of performance, which is called your monthly financials. That's the problem faced. The reason many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they're out back looking for four-leaf clover. This is why dead leads need to be revived. Because if agents are only interested in cherry-picked leads, then you deal with that. But in the meantime, you've got all these leads, and if you're just waiting for the four-leaf clovers, opportunity has been knocking, emailing, calling, and walking in. So let's deal with it. So now you ask yourself, if 1 in 5 of whatever your leads are were to turn in the next 12 months, how much money is that? And that's where we start to create these 5 myths. Because to date, we have pretty much focused on 2 areas in leads management: generating more traffic and creating compelling content. So if we look at a lot of companies in the last 5 years, the big hurdle was get more photos on those listings, get better content on those listings, add video to those listings, compelling content. Then get more traffic, more traffic, more traffic. Search engine optimization, pay per click, blogging. All of those tools are designed to get people to come to your website. Take every lead that's marked dead, multiply it by your cost to generate. That's why we say either manage the leads or stop marketing. You don't need more leads. Nothing. I've almost never found a company who isn't receiving leads. They're receiving the volume they believe they need, and we'll see whether that's true or not. But by and large, the major portals have plenty of traffic. The consumer is not broken. A lot of leads